Damon, 2 big goals from you, a couple assists out there. What was working so well for you offensively?
And the goals, I just got passes that were my stick and I shot them. Simple, nothing fancy. And then the assists, passing it to the right guys. Jesper on the one, and then I can't remember, Janssen, I think, and then he put a shot on that and we got the rebound on the other one. So I'll take those all day long. But it was a good game for us overall. I thought we came out really hard and we put them on their heels early. So it's nice to get back into kind of the game sort of styles of things. So it'll be nice to get back at her again tomorrow and the next day.
Right. There's a lot of veterans in your group on Team White, Group B. But what did you see out of the younger players, especially some of those prospects like Josh Philman?
Yeah, he looked good. I think he was on the other team, right? So I don't know many of the young guys yet, just because we're kind of getting to know the new draft picks or guys like that. So, they look good. Like, from what I can tell, I'm not really focused on what anyone else is doing out here. It's more about my game and the team trying to get better every day. But from what I could tell, a lot of skill out there. Guys can play. So we're looking forward to hopefully developing some of those young guys to join our team in the future.
Yeah, and your team really, even though it was kind of a mix of newer and older players, you were off to the races. 8-1 victory. What was really working for your team as a whole?
Yeah, it was a good early start for us, and then we just continued to put the pressure on. I guess it was good forechecks. We were making smart, simple plays, and kind of a cliche, but we did do the right things on the ice to have ourselves be successful. Second period, we had a little bit of a lull. They came out hard in the second. They were all over us, obviously upset with their first period. So overall, though, it was pretty good game. We took advantage early and we got the lead, and we played well with the lead. We didn't just concede back in our own zone. We kept the pressure on.
Yeah, and for you to be able to contribute offensively, what else do you still want to build on that? Because I know you've discussed that you want to continue to build on things that might not come as naturally to you, but the offensive stuff seems pretty natural for you today.
Yeah, that's stuff for sure that's natural. Try to continue to get better at that, shooting pucks and getting my shots through, setting guys up, put them in the right position to score. So defensively as well, just making sure I'm dialed in the system we're going to play again this year and get the hang of things, get in the swing of things again in that regard. But defense is the hard part. You got to make sure you get out of your zone, and then the offense, you use your gifts and your natural ability to play with some of the skill we have up front, and then hopefully it clicks.
Miles, you were able to really show a lot of your speed out there. How did you feel in your first game action back since last season?
Well, that was my fourth game in like a year and a half. But, I actually felt good. The first 2 periods were a great pace, and then the third period kind of slowed down a lot. Having 3-line stoppage plays, a lot of hockey. But overall, it felt good.
And even though your team wasn't able to get too many goals on the score sheet, what did you like out of how your team was starting to really push back, particularly in the second period?
Yeah, it was a lot of D-zone breakdowns in the first period for us. But I thought we had a great bounce back in the second, and it was good.
What else do you really want to improve on in this training camp, particularly with your own game?
My conditioning, probably. I think that's, I've always been a quick, fast player, but don't quite have the endurance there quite yet. But, that's something that I've worked on in the past, and I'll continue to make strides in that spot of my game.
Bernier was able to play a period and a half. What was it like seeing him back out there after both of you were rehabbing last season?
Yeah, it was good to see him out there playing. I spent a lot of time with him last year, but he feels great, and I'm super happy that he's out there playing with us.
And what does your team need to do, particularly tomorrow when you're facing Group A, in order to get a victory in these scrimmages?
Not break down as much in the defensive zone. That's where all the goals came from on their side. So just get back to the drawing board.
Able to score a goal off of a pass from Severson. You were really calling for that one. So, to be able to finish that shot, how fulfilling was it for you?
Yeah, that's what I feel that I shoot the puck well, and I had some space. So, yeah, I really wanted that one.
And for you, this process, you went to Prospects Camp, you were at the Challenge up in Buffalo, now you're here at the main camp. So what has the past couple days been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun. Just learning from all the older guys and the guys that have been here a long time. It's all learning process, and take it all in every day and try to take something from every day and just keep getting better.
What are the main things that you want to show the coaching staff and the other players here that you can achieve?
I just want to play my game and do what I do well, and show that those are the things that got me here, and continue to work on the things that I need to improve in my game to take it to that next level, and be a consistent player and just be a more complete player. So work on the things that I need to work on and continue to do the things that I do well.
How would you define your game?
I would say that I'm a power forward that shoots the puck well. I feel like I can protect the puck down low and get to the net. That's kind of the bread and butter of my game, and I feel I can shoot the puck well. So.
What was working for your team so well in the scrimmage today, especially since it's day 2 of training camp?
I thought we took advantage of the opportunities that we had and got some high-end players that made a lot of good plays. So, and they had some good goaltending, and that's kind of what happened today, I thought.
There was a lot of opportunities for you to capitalize on some defensive breakdowns from the other team. So how was your team able to focus in on taking advantage of every opportunity?
I guess just having a second player there to support whoever makes the turnover and just making plays off of turnovers and transition. I thought we did that well and had a couple goals from that today.
What else do you want to show at this camp?
I just want to show that I can play at this level and show that the things that I do well I can do at this level. Just do my best every day.
Look, obviously, I'm sure you wouldn't have wanted to let in that many goals, but that's probably not what this is about for you. Seeing you back on the ice, battling back, how are you feeling to where you're at this point where you can be on the ice taking those shots in a scrimmage event?
Yeah, it definitely felt like a long time coming. It was good to get out there and just, obviously you do goalie drills. I've done the goalie drills for the last couple of months, but to get in the game, get your timing, your reads, that was probably the hardest part for me, but it was good to get the first one out, and I'm sure as the chem will move forward, I'll feel better for sure.
Was there a point this summer where you thought, okay, like not necessarily be ready for the start of the season, but a little further along than maybe was thought at the end of last year? Yeah,
to be honest, it took a long time for me to kind of go over that hump, and the last couple months I started to feel much better and was able to skate twice a week and then move it up to 3 and 4, and so but the last couple months that's when I really saw the improvement on my hip, and now it's just to get my game back on point.
Is it painful? Like, are you pain free? How do you sort of feel when you're out there?
It's not pain free, but obviously we're able to play with pain, and as long as it doesn't get too much, and I just got to manage the inflammation in there, and that's why we have a great medical staff for me to help me go through this.
And when you sort of look at where you are in terms of your progression, do you have an idea of when maybe there's that possibility of playing?
I'm still day to day.
Yeah.
I haven't got clear from the doctor, so for me it's just get more practice and scrimmages and go day by day.
How difficult was it last year for you, joining a new team, limited to 10 games, wanting to be a part of a new team, but clearly, in another zone?
Yeah, it was very hard. Started in training camp, and I never could have. I couldn't get over the hump, and I had to make that decision with the team and training staff to go towards that route, and it was not easy. You want to be the solution, I guess, in a way. I think everyone in this room wants to bring their A game for this team, and I couldn't do that last year, so it was definitely hard mentally.
What has management told you, Jonathan, just to keep doing what you're doing as far as the progress and rehab? Is that basically what they want you to do until you're ready?
Yeah, definitely. And, I think that the main focus for all of us is not to go in and out of the lineup. I want to progressively, go into practice games and see what's my limit and go from there. But at the end of the day, even personally, I don't want to play for 2 weeks and then being out for a week, and I want to take the right step and take my time to make sure that I don't have too many setbacks.
What did you think of the off-season moves that Fitzgerald made to kind of upgrade not only, obviously the D, goaltending, and the forwards?
I think it's been a really good summer for us, bringing some guys that know how to win, and I think that's what we need in our locker room, and we're ready for the next step. Our young guys got to look up to guys like Pav that's won many Stanley Cup, and every time you bring guys like that know how to win, it's going to change your locker room for sure.
I'm just curious your initial thoughts on Shimon Nemitz, the rookie there. He looked pretty poor after a few minutes of getting used to what's out there. He looked to be himself, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He's gonna be a great player for sure. He can skate. He reads the game well. I think obviously, like you mentioned, it's just an adjustment from playing with in the NHL. But so far, I'm pretty impressed.
Lindy, to see the way that Jonathan Bernier was able to come back, we talked so much at the end of last year, uncertainty, but what does that do for a team when you see a guy competing like that? Even, the results probably not what he wanted, but just to be there and giving it his all.
Well, really, it's all you want. I didn't even expect him to be part of the scrimmages, and he feels that he's close enough to get involved in the game. So it's great to see him out there. It's great to see him in practice. I know he feels there's a ways to go, but for me, he's ahead of schedule.
What do you see when you're sitting in the stands watching the game as opposed to being on the bench?
Well, you get to see the whole play. There was. I think sometimes when you're on the bench, you don't see what's down the corners. You get to see a lot of the big picture system stuff. So it's an opportunity to take a look from up top.
And what do you kind of look for in this scenario where you've only got 3 lines running, guys who are not familiar playing with each other?
Well, I'm basically looking at the backbone of our team. And I was really happy with some of those guys, the way they played, the way they skated, the speed, right off the bat. I thought Nate Bastian, great speed going through the middle, Brader and Nico, our veteran lines. I took a look at, kept an eye on Wood, Halla, and Mercer. And the guys that, the new guys, the guys we're counting on, I thought looked really good.
Your thoughts on Marino and Brendan Smith, the way they were paired together, and just what Brendan brings here, even in a scrimmage?
Yeah, again, it's, everything's new. They got 2 guys that haven't played with each other. I think there's situations out there that if you had a little bit more familiarity, the plays would be different. But a lot to like about what both guys brought today.
Like what Wood brought to the game scrimmage today?
Yeah, I thought, right off the bat, got in, delivered a pretty big hit. Was in on a couple scoring chances. I thought skated well. Looking at what type of chemistry that line could have. Got to the back post and ended up scoring a goal off of that line. Made a nice play.
Does he look to be 110% in your eyes? Would does he look back to normal to you, Lindy?
I don't know I've never seen him at 110, but he looks close to 100 anyways.
Okay. How about Shimon Nemitz and what he maybe showed today? Obviously.
Yeah, I think there's a lot for him to learn about the NHL game. There's a lot I like about the way he plays, get involved, but I think the NHL game is a tough game. You've kind of got to pick and choose where your opportunities come from, how much you want to handle a puck, and there's times he skated really well. He made that easy play. So a lot to like, but there's a lot to learn about the NHL game.
There's only one practice day before you jump into these scrimmages. Why did you set the schedule that way?
Well, I really felt we're going to be scrimmaging and we're going to be playing a game in 4 days. I really feel that the best way to get into a game is by playing some games, to see the compete. These guys have been skating for weeks now. So overall, we set it up that almost everybody will probably get 2 games and 2 practices. And we're going to have to play back-to-back games. So we just felt if everybody got a couple scrimmages to get ready for game ready, it would be the best way to go.
Good. Scale of 1 to 10, how good the Bills look?
110%.